The stars blinked cold and distant above the galactic police station. Inside, bright lights hummed over a dozen alien officers. But Mira, a human mother from Earth, didn't notice any of it. She stood still, her fists clenched at her sides. "My son is missing," she said quietly. The alien at the desk, a four-eyed, lizard-like creature, barely looked up. "Children wander. Maybe he ran away. Earth children are weak." Myra didn't blink. Her voice remained calm, but her eyes held something ancient, something dangerous. That was the wrong thing to say. The officer leaned back, laughing with the others. Myra's son, Keo, had gone on a school trip to Nova Port. He never came back. His classmates said he went to look at the cargo bays. The last security footage showed him near Dock 47, where a known smuggler ship was waiting. No one stopped it. No one cared. But Mira did. She wasn't just a mother. She used to be a combat pilot. She had flown missions on the edge of known space. She had survived wars, and now someone had taken her child. She hacked into the port's restricted files using her old skills. One word came up again and again. Sector N14, outlaw space, full of pirates and slavers. A place even bounty hunters feared. Everyone said, "Don't go there." Mira didn't waste time. She took her ship, locked her weapons, and set course for N-14. She wasn't planning to ask nicely, and the people who took her son, they had just made a mistake the size of 3 star systems. The jump into Sector N14 was rough. Myra's ship shook as it exited hyperspace. Outside her window, the stars looked darker, twisted like they were watching. This place wasn't just outlaw space, it was cursed. Dead ships drifted like broken bones. Signals were jammed. Nothing but silence and danger. Mira kept flying. Her ship, the Emberlight, was old but fast. She flew low through asteroid fields and junk clouds, dodging scans. Her face was calm, but her mind raced. Somewhere out here, her son was alive. She felt it. Then she saw it. A massive station, floating like a rotten heart-black scar outpost. It wasn't on any legal map, but she knew the symbols on its hull. Pirate clans, slave traders, arms dealers. She landed her ship without asking. As she stepped out, every eye turned. A human woman, alone, walking into a nest of killers. Some laughed. Others reached for weapons. But Mira didn't stop. She found the bar, dark, smoky, full of threats. A massive alien with metal skin blocked her path. "No humans here," he growled. She looked up at him. "I'm not here for a drink. I'm here." For answers, he moved to push her. She moved faster. In 2 seconds, he was on the floor. She pressed a hidden blade to his throat. "Now, tell me who took the boy." Silence, then whispers, one name. Warlord Craxus. He ruled a nearby planet with fear, bought slaves, sold pain. Mira stood and left the bar. She now had a name, a target, and nothing in this cursed sector would stop her. Not pirates, not warlords, not hell itself, because Mira wasn't hunting. She was coming. Warlord Craxus sat on a throne made of bones. His palace was built into the side of a burning mountain on Zirac Prime, a planet where the ground smoked and the air stung like acid. Slaves marched in chains. Drones flew overhead, watching everything. Craxus ruled with fear, and no one dared challenge him until now. A small human ship broke through the planet's air defenses like a knife through paper. Alarm sirens screamed. Fighters scrambled. Myra didn't care. Inside the Emberlight, she locked onto the coordinates of Craxus's palace and dropped flares to confuse the missiles. Her ship dodged fire like it was dancing. She wasn't here to start a war. She was here to finish one. Guards waited at the landing pad, weapons ready. They saw the ship door open. Myra stepped out, calm and quiet. The first guard aimed. He never got the chance to fire. In seconds, Myra moved through them like a stormquake, brutal, unstoppable. She didn't kill unless she had to. But she left. No one standing inside the palace. She moved room by room, disabling systems, locking doors behind her, clearing a path to the throne room. Craxus laughed when she entered. A giant, covered in scars and armor, holding a blood-stained axe, came alone. He mocked Mira, didn't speak. She threw a flash bomb, moved in the confusion, and knocked him to the ground with a stun baton crackling blue. She stood over him, breathing hard. "Where's my son?" she said. He coughed blood and whispered, "Too late. He's already been sold." Mira's eyes went cold. She didn't kill Craxus, but as she walked away, fires spread behind her. Xerox Prime was falling, and Mira had a new lead, an auction, and she was going to crash it. Deep in the shadows of the galaxy, there was a place no map dared show, a hidden asteroid station called Valespire, home to the darkest auction in known space. They didn't sell ships, they sold lives. Children, rare species, tech banned by every galactic law. Only the cruel, the rich, and the powerful received invitations. Mira didn't wait for one. She stole it from a noble slaver on his way there. Now, wearing his robes and a voice changer, she walked through Valespire's golden gates, surrounded by monsters in fine clothing. The auction began. First, a trio of reptilian twins, then a rare crystal-born girl. Next, Mira's heart, pounded as a boy, was dragged on stage, dirty, bruised, scared, not her son. But he looked back at her, eyes full of silent begging. She gripped the hidden blade in her sleeve. Across the room, one of Craxus's men stared at her. Recognition dawned. His hand reached for a weapon. Too late. Mira threw her blade. Lights burst. Smoke filled the chamber. Chaos exploded. She moved through the crowd like fire-freeing cages, unlocking doors, knocking guards unconscious. Children ran. Buyers screamed. The auction was falling apart. She reached the control room and slammed her fist into the console. Alarms blared. "Across Valespire run," she told the freed captives. "Don't stop." But as she searched every cage, one thing became clear: her son wasn't there. Then she found it. A shipping manifest. One name burned at the bottom: the Collector. A private buyer. Rich, powerful, untouchable. But not from Mira. She looked back one last time as flames rose from Valespire. She had saved dozens, but she still didn't have her son. So, the Collector, he was next. The Collector lived in orbit, above a dying blue sun. His ship wasn't a war vessel. It was a floating palace. Beautiful, massive, silent. Its name, the Garden of Forever. Inside, creatures from every corner of the galaxy lived in fake habitats, zoos made to look like home, but none of them were free. Each cage was clean, controlled, cold, and somewhere in that twisted paradise was Mira's son. But every step she took, her fists clenched tighter. The Collector greeted his guests with a wide smile and a golden mask. "Today," he said, "you will see wonders living art." He guided them through glass tunnels filled with water, lava, snow. Beasts walked behind force fields. Even children, dressed and displayed like museum pieces, smiled under guard. Mira's smile never reached her eyes. Then she saw him, Keo, alive, tired, locked in a mock Earth habitat. Her heart stopped, but her heart stopped but her plan didn't. That night, while music echoed in the halls, Mira moved. She disabled guards silently, hacked security doors, and freed every locked cell she passed. The creatures didn't run at first. They didn't believe it was real, until Mira whispered, "Go, now." The system alarms screamed. The Garden of Forever fell into panic. The Collector ran to his control tower. When he arrived, Mira was already waiting. His guards were unconscious at her feet. "You," he hissed, "are ruining perfection." She stared him down. "You stole my son." The mask cracked as he reached for a hidden weapon. A single shot from Mira's wrist blaster ended it. She grabbed Keo, pulled him close, and said only one thing: "I've got you." But her son looked at her with wide eyes. "They're still coming, Mom," he whispered. "The war zones. They're chasing us." And so, again, Mira turned toward danger. The planet Varnox was a graveyard of ships. Ancient alien empires were locked in a brutal war over it. Every hour, new wreckage fell from the sky. Laser fire lit the atmosphere like a storm. No one entered this system by accident, and yet a small ship tore through the madness, ignoring warnings, dodging death. Inside, Mira flew with ice in her veins. Her son Keo sat strapped in beside her, eyes wide but trusting. He knew she would protect him. He didn't know what it would cost. A message from the Collector's system had revealed Keo had a tracker in his blood. Whoever paid for him wanted him back. And now those buyers had hired warlords from both empires to stop Mira before she reached Earth. But Mira didn't care about war. She cared about getting her son home. Enemy fighters locked onto her ship. She dove through wrecks, spun through fire, and led them straight into each other's crosshairs. Her ship took hits, small ones, but she kept flying. Until the engines failed, they crashed on Varnox's surface. Alone, surrounded, Mira pulled Keo from the wreck and vanished into the jungle. Drones hunted them. Soldiers followed. But Mira turned the land into her weapon-setting traps, luring squads into ambushes, stealing supplies as they slept. In 3 days, half the hunting teams went silent. Then, she did something no one expected. She stormed the command center of both armies. Inside, generals stared in shock as one human woman, she said, pressing the detonator, called them off. They listened, and when Mira walked out with her son, Varnox had no command left. The war stopped because of her. Whispers spread like wildfire across the galaxy. 3 star systems, 3 rulers, all brought to their knees by one human woman. A mother searching for her child. They called her many things now: outlaw, war criminal, savior. But one name began to echo louder than the rest: Mother of the Fallen Stars. Mira didn't care what they called her. All she cared about was getting Keo home. But peace wouldn't come easy. The powerful families who once owned the auctions, the ones who funded Craxus, the Collector, the armies of Varnox, they weren't done. They saw Mira as a symbol of chaos. And worse, an inspiration to others. If one mother could bring empires down, what could 100 do? They sent hunters, ships, assassins. Mira fought them all in the asteroid fields of the Duran Rift. She outflew a squadron using only half an engine. In the icy tunnels of Cithronine, she took down 3 bounty killers using just a signal flare and a metal pipe. Every battle was a warning. Leave her alone. Let her go. But the galaxy didn't listen. Mira was tired. Keo was growing quiet again. He deserved better than life on the run. So Mira made a choice. She activated an old signal from her military days, a code only used in extinction events. The message reached deep into Earth's black files, and Earth answered. A hidden fleet, dark and silent, began to move through space. No flags, no mercy. Just orders: protect Mira. Protect her son. The galaxy had pushed a mother too far, and now Earth was coming. Home was finally in sight. Earth glowed in the distance blue, calm, beautiful. Mira gripped the controls, Keo asleep beside her. After everything, they were almost there. But peace was still a lie. As the Emberlight approached orbit, silent alarms lit up her console. Then they appeared 40 enemy ships, blocking the path. Waiting, a voice came through the comscom. Cold, cruel, Mira of Earth. You are ordered to surrender. The child belongs to us. She looked at her son, then at the trap in front of her, and she smiled just a little. They should have brought more ships. Mira jammed the comms and hit the boosters. Enemy fire opened up like a storm. Her ship twisted, dodged, rolled between plasma blasts. Shields cracked. Hull panels peeled away, but she didn't slow down. She flew straight into the center of the blockade, toward the biggest warcruiser. Inside that cruiser, the alien commander laughed. A suicide run, he said. Until Mira's ship split into 3 decoys, scattering in different directions. One was real, the other 2 loaded with old Earth tech explosives. The first exploded against a dreadnought's engines. The second lit up a carrier from the inside out. Now there were 38 ships, and Earth finally responded from the dark side of the moon. Stealth ships decloaked, silent, invisible, deadly. The Black Fleet, Mira had called, moved like shadows across the sky. Lasers flashed, space lit up, and Mira. She dove through the chaos, silent and fast. The trap had snapped shut, but not on her. Within minutes, the enemy ships were disabled, drifting. No deaths, no wreckage, just power taken from them completely. Mira landed on Earth's soil, but she didn't smile yet, because the Council had summoned her, and she knew the war wasn't truly over. The Council Hall floated above the core of Veltrax Prime, a place where stars were born. 1,000 alien leaders sat inside. Some were ancient, Some were cruel, some were scared, and all of them waited for her. Mira walked through the grand doors alone. No armor, no weapons, just a plain black jacket and eyes that had seen too much. Gasps echoed. That's her. She destroyed Craxus. She crippled the Collector. She walked through fire. And still, she walked forward. Calm, cold, unshaken. At the center of the chamber, a voice rang out deep and sharp. Mira, of Earth, you are charged with galactic disruption, unauthorized war actions, destruction of property across 3 star systems. And she raised her hand. No, she said softly. I'm not here to be judged, the council murmured in shock. I asked for help when my son was taken, she continued. You laughed. You did nothing. I bled. I fought. I burned your monsters down to get him. Back one counselor slammed a hand on the table. You endangered peace. Mira stared at him. You call that peace? A system where children are sold and pirates rule? No. You feared a mother with nothing to lose. That's what scared you. Silence. Then a voice from the back, a soft one, a delegate from a quiet world. She saved mine, the delegate said. My people were freed because of her. Another joined in, and another species Mira had rescued. Victims she had freed. One by one, they stood for her. The council had no choice. They dropped all charges. But as Myra turned to leave, a warning came. Your story is spreading. Others may rise like you. She didn't stop walking. I hope they do, because sometimes, to fix the galaxy, it takes a mother. Earth's sky had never looked so peaceful. The wars were over. The hunters had stopped. The galaxy had finally fallen silent. And in a quiet house by the sea, Mira sat on the porch, watching her son play in the sand. Kyo laughed, free, safe. A sound Mira had fought galaxies to hear again inside the house. Walls were lined with shields, medals, weapons trophies from every system she had survived. But Mira never looked at them. Her eyes stayed on Kyo. He was her only victory that mattered. But peace didn't come easy. She still woke up some nights, hand reaching for a weapon that wasn't there. She still watched the sky, just in case. And sometimes she still saw the faces of the ones she'd brought down. Then one day, a message arrived, encrypted, silent. From deep space, they want to meet you. It was from the Galactic Council again. This time, it wasn't a summons. It was an invitation. They wanted Mira to speak, to teach, to help rewrite laws. They called her a symbol of strength, of hope. She didn't answer right away. Later that evening, Kyo sat beside her and asked, Are we really safe now? Mira wrapped an arm around him. For now, she said, but if danger ever comes back, she looked out toward the stars, toward the systems that had tried to break her. They know what I can do. And somewhere far away, across 100 worlds, whispers began again. The mother who burned star systems for her son was still alive. And no, one not kings, not councils, not empires would ever dare take from her again. Not ever.